chosen one. You have no idea who you truly are in the spiritual realm, nor who you were when you returned. Most people go through life believing they know themselves, but that's only the surface. There is a deeper, spiritual, silent identity that doesn't appear in the mirror or on documents. And it's precisely that identity which explains why your life has never been ordinary. You are not the person you believe you are. Not because you're mistaken, but because part of who you are had to remain hidden. There are things that cannot be revealed too soon. There are truths that, if they came in full, would overwhelm the mind. That's why God allows you to walk by sensing, without fully remembering. Perhaps this explains why you've always felt there was something more. A sense of depth that's hard to explain. An invisible weight, a silent responsibility, a discomfort with superficiality. You perceive what others ignore. You feel before you understand. And you often wonder why life feels more intense for you. That intensity is not a mistake. It's a sign. The spiritual realm recognizes what the world has not yet seen. Your spirit carries history, experience, and purpose, even if your mind doesn't yet have full access to it. The forgetting wasn't punishment. It was protection. You haven't lost who you were. You've been preserved. If this message reached you, it wasn't by chance. Here we speak clearly, without exaggeration, about spiritual identity, purpose, and growth. My name is George. If this content resonates with you, follow the channel now. It helps the work continue and spreads this message to other chosen ones who need to hear it. Chosen one. Since a very young age, you felt there was something different about you. It wasn't arrogance nor imagination. It was a silent feeling that your life wouldn't follow the same script as most people's. Even when you tried to fit in, something always felt out of place. You did what was expected, but deep down, you knew that didn't explain everything. You grew up learning to define yourself by common labels: name, profession, family history, mistakes, and successes. But none of those things seemed to account for what you felt inside. It was as if there was a deeper layer no one could access, not even you. And that, in many moments, created confusion, exhaustion, and loneliness. What few understand is that this confusion is not a sign of a lack of identity, but of preserved identity. There's a part of you that wasn't erased, only protected. Not because you don't deserve to know who you are, but because knowing too soon could hurt you. There are truths that require emotional maturity to be sustained. If you had full awareness of everything you carry spiritually, ordinary life would become too heavy. Relationships would seem shallow. The world's priorities would lose their meaning. The human mind, limited and sensitive, wouldn't be able to handle the contrast. That's why God allows you to walk with feelings, not full memories. That explains why you feel depth where others see triviality. Why empty conversations drain you. Why you are bothered by injustices others normalize. Your spirit senses misalignments before your mind can explain them. And that doesn't make you strange. It makes you perceptive. Forgetting is not loss, it is mercy. Your spirit didn't come into this life empty. It arrived with awareness, responsibility, and sensitivity. But your mind had to be protected. The world is not kind to what is true. The world uses, distorts, or destroys what it doesn't understand. That's why God covers before He reveals. This inner veil is the reason you've always felt something was on pause, not absent, just out of reach. You know there's more in you, but you can't define it clearly. That brings frustration, but it also brings movement. You seek meaning, you question, you don't settle. And that doesn't mean you're behind. It means your spirit walks ahead of your consciousness. While many live on autopilot, you reflect. While many run, you observe. While many are satisfied with shallow meaning, you long for something greater. God does not reveal identity before forming stability. And stability has nothing to do with external success. It has to do with character, with humility, with learning to obey even without understanding everything, with remaining upright when no one is watching. Many chosen ones suffer because they want clarity without preparation. That's why certain areas of your life progress slowly, why doors closed without explanation, why people walked away without a final conversation. It wasn't rejection, it was protection. God was keeping you human enough to keep learning and strong enough not to be lost. Many chosen ones interpret God's silence as abandonment. But silence is not absence, it's training. Even Jesus lived under limitations while he was here. He submitted to time, to process, to growth. He didn't operate in full revelation all the time. He trusted. The veil also protects you from people's wrong intentions. There are those who would try to use what you carry, others who would try to compete, control, or extinguish your essence. That's why God hides his greatest tools in simple lives, common stories, and humble beginnings. You weren't sent to be admired. You were sent to be effective. And effectiveness in God's kingdom is rarely visible to human eyes. It often shows up as silent resistance, maintained integrity, and right choices made far from the spotlight. That's why your life has included waiting for clarity, waiting for recognition, waiting for rest. Those periods weren't empty. They were familiar territory for your spirit. You are learning to carry the weight without needing validation. Another important truth: the veil also protects you from ego. Ego wants answers before obedience, wants power before maturity, wants position before character. God doesn't entrust eternal things to unstable hands. That's why your journey has been humbling at times, not to shame you, but to soften you, to teach you empathy, to teach you to listen, to teach you not to become hard in a hard world. Fire doesn't announce itself as preparation. It shows up as loss, delay, and confusion. But there is a greater purpose. God wants you to live by faith, not certainty, because faith builds relationship, and relationship is more important than information. If you knew everything too soon, you would trust your memory, not God. The veil will be lifted gradually, not in a dramatic event, but through subtle alignments, through inner peace, through emotional safety, through clarity without haste. Until then, your mission is simple. Stay faithful, humble, and present. The truly chosen are not recognized by what they remember, but by how they live, while they still don't remember. And in that chosen one, you are doing better than you think. Chosen one. There's something you've probably noticed throughout your life, even without being able to explain it clearly. People react to you in strange ways. Some approach you quickly, trust you, open up, and feel safe. Others, without apparent reason, feel uncomfortable, defensive, or even hostile. This doesn't happen because of what you do. It happens because of what you carry. Spiritual recognition doesn't depend on your conscious memory. It happens at the level of presence. Just like light doesn't need to introduce itself to be perceived, your essence is felt before it's understood. You enter environments without drawing attention, but something shifts. The atmosphere adjusts. Conversations change. Energy responds. Many times you ask yourself, what did I do wrong? And the answer, most of the time, is simple. Nothing. You simply exist with integrity. And integrity exposes what's misaligned, even in silence. People who live on the surface feel discomfort around someone who carries depth. That explains why manipulation rarely works on you for long. You may tolerate it out of compassion, politeness, or an attempt to keep peace. But something inside you begins to resist. You sense when truth is being twisted, when the intent isn't pure, and once you perceive it, you can't pretend you didn't. This recognition doesn't mean everyone around you is an opponent. Often they're just insecure, wounded, or emotionally immature. Not every negative reaction is spiritual. Some are simply human. But the pattern repeats itself often enough not to be ignored. You've also probably noticed how your name comes up in places where you're not present, how assumptions are made about your intentions, how you're underestimated and yet observed. This happens because depth creates both curiosity and discomfort. Those who don't understand try to define, label, or reduce. Another clear sign is how people test your boundaries. They push, provoke, and watch how much you can handle. Not because you're weak, but because they sense your strength. And often you pass those tests not by reacting, but by choosing peace. That frustrates those who feed off conflict. It's important to understand something here. You're not here to constantly defend yourself, or to prove who you are. Discernment is not confrontation. Discernment is self-control. God doesn't expect you to fix every misunderstanding. He himself sustains your identity. When you stop feeding dysfunctional dynamics, many people walk away. Sometimes quietly, sometimes with resentment. Don't chase what leaves your life when you choose emotional and spiritual health. Not everything that leaves is a loss. Another weight many chosen ones carry is misplaced guilt. You feel responsible for others' discomfort. You wonder if you should explain more, tone yourself down, soften your presence. That burden isn't yours. You weren't called to please everyone. You were called to stay aligned. Spiritual recognition is not a privilege, it's a responsibility. The more aligned you become, the less tolerance you have for drama, manipulation, and superficiality. Not out of coldness, but because you value peace. And peace becomes sacred to you. Some people adapt to that, others walk away. Both outcomes are protection. Chosen one, even if your mind doesn't remember clearly, your spirit never forgot. It expresses itself in subtle, repetitive signs that have followed you since early on. One of the clearest is the depth of your reactions. You don't feel halfway. Joy touches you. Injustice disturbs you deeply. Genuine kindness stays with you. You also feel a constant sense of not fully belonging. You can adapt to many environments, talk to different people, fulfill various roles. Still, there's a quiet sense that you're just passing through. You build bonds but don't confuse them with origin. That's not coldness. It's awareness. Another sign is how quickly you grow tired of superficiality. Trends, empty competitions, repetitive conversations, and shallow ambitions lose their shine for you fast. Not because you're difficult, but because novelty doesn't sustain you. Your spirit seeks essence, not constant stimulation. Your relationship with authority also reveals much. You respect just, firm, and coherent leadership, but you resist, sometimes internally, control based on fear, ego, or manipulation. That resistance isn't rebellion, it's discernment. Your spirit knows the difference between alignment and domination. Your intuition often comes before logic. You sense changes before they're visible. You know when something is about to end. You sense when it's time to stop, even without clear arguments. And when you ignore that inner signal, you usually feel the consequences. You also handle suffering differently. You don't romanticize pain, but you also don't run from it. You seek to learn, understand, and grow. And even when hurt, you rarely become cruel. Suffering softens you more than it hardens you. That's not common. It's spiritual memory expressing itself as compassion. Many people open up to you without planning to. They trust you with stories, pain, and secrets. Not because you ask, but because your presence transmits safety. This can be tiring, but it's also natural for you. Your spirit knows how to receive. There's also a curious relationship with time. You feel urgency about purpose, but patience with the process. You want things to make sense, but don't want to rush them artificially. This paradox causes frustration, but it exists because your inner rhythm is different from the world's. You are deeply sensitive to truth, not just facts, but emotional and spiritual truth. When someone speaks sincerely, you feel it. When someone distorts, something in you shuts down. That sensitivity is exhausting, but protective. Another sign is your discomfort with idealization. You appreciate recognition, but don't like being put on pedestals. Your humility doesn't come from insecurity, but from awareness. Your spirit remembers service, not spotlight. And despite all you've been through, you remain open. You haven't shut down completely. You haven't become bitter. You're still willing to grow, learn, and align. That resilience isn't luck. It's remembrance expressed as hope. Before full remembrance comes preparation. God looks for emotional stability, real humility, daily consistency, and the ability to rest. Revelation doesn't come through curiosity, but through maturity. Remembrance won't be a shock. It will be a fit. You are not late. You are being prepared. And every sign you recognize isn't to inflate your ego, but to strengthen your character. Becoming who you are starts before remembering. It starts with how you live now. Chosen one, before any deeper revelation takes place, there is a silent work happening inside you. It's not visible, it's not celebrated, but it is essential. God does not build on emotional cracks. Before revealing identity, He heals internal structures that could collapse under the weight of the truth. One of the first areas is unresolved pain. You've learned to move forward, to function, to be strong. But strength is not healing. Some wounds were pushed deep down because there wasn't time to feel them. Still, they influence reactions, choices, and silences. Healing is not reliving the pain. It's releasing the control it still holds. Another area is the need for validation. Even the chosen struggle with this. The desire to be recognized, understood, seen. Not out of vanity, but out of exhaustion from carrying so much alone. God works on this point because identity cannot depend on others' perception. As long as external validation is necessary, internal revelation would be unstable. There is also the fear of making mistakes. You pressure yourself a lot. You wonder if you're doing enough, if you're up to it, if you're failing something greater that you can't define. This fear doesn't stem from ordinary insecurity, but from the sense of responsibility you carry. Still, it needs to be softened, because the mission doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. Another important point is the attachment to control. You've learned to anticipate problems, to foresee scenarios, to emotionally prepare for impact. That protected you in the past, but now it may be limiting. God gradually teaches you that not everything needs to be controlled to be cared for. Trusting is also a form of strength. Silent resentment also needs to be addressed. Not the kind that screams, but the kind that hides behind maturity. The accumulated disappointments, the unacknowledged injustices, the unseen efforts. If not released, they turn into spiritual exhaustion. Forgiving here doesn't mean agreeing. It means freeing yourself. Before the revelation, God also adjusts your relationship with time. You feel like you're always waiting for something. And that waiting is tiring. But it's not empty. It's forming patience without passivity, movement without anxiety. When the remembrance comes, you won't be impulsive. you'll be grounded. None of this happens all at once. It's a continuous refinement, small daily corrections, silences that teach more than answers, situations that test your reaction, not your ability. All of this is preparing you to carry what's coming without losing yourself. You're not being delayed, you're being cared for. Chosen one of the greatest traps is living while waiting for the after. After clarity, after confirmation, after revelation. But life doesn't pause until everything makes sense. It happens now, and it is exactly here that your faithfulness is being watched. Living while the remembrance hasn't come yet requires presence, being fully in what you're doing, even when it seems small. You weren't called to despise the now in the name of a spiritual future. The now is the training ground. It's where character is formed and alignment is solidified. That means taking care of what is within your reach, your actions, your words, your boundaries, your emotional health. Many chosen ones get lost trying to carry the world and forget to care for themselves. But exhaustion is not a sign of mission accomplished. It's a sign of imbalance. Learning to rest is part of obedience. Not just resting your body, but your mind. Reducing noise, reducing comparisons, simplifying choices. Silence is not wasted time for you. It is realignment. Another point is learning to say no without guilt. Not everything that comes to you is your responsibility. Not every pain you perceive is yours to heal. Discerning that is spiritual maturity. You are not here to save everyone. You are here to be faithful where you are. Chosen one, after everything that has been said, there is a simple truth that needs to settle within you. You are not lost. You never were. The path may seem confusing, but it is guided. The silence may be uncomfortable, but it protects. The waiting may be tiring, but it prepares. You haven't failed because you don't fully remember yet. You're not late because you still have questions. You're not less chosen because you still feel doubt. The process does not invalidate the calling. It strengthens it. Everything in your life has worked to build stability, not spectacle. Depth, not appearance. Consistency, not fleeting intensity. And that is rare. In a world that values the immediate, you are learning to sustain the eternal. The remembrance will not come as a dramatic event. It will come as peace, as alignment, as clarity without urgency, as inner security. When that happens, you won't feel greater. You'll feel whole. Until then, live calmly. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Stop trying to understand everything. Trust more in the process that has already brought you this far. If you are still standing, still seeking, still reflecting, still choosing what is good, that already says a lot about who you are. God doesn't start something He doesn't intend to finish. Heaven doesn't get confused. And time is not against you. It is working in your favor. You are exactly where you're meant to be. And for now, that is enough. Everything that has been said throughout these parts has one clear goal: to bring peace. Not to feed spiritual anxiety, not to create unrealistic expectations, not to generate pressure. Truth doesn't weigh you down when received at the right time. It organizes, it calms, it strengthens, and what you need now is not more answers, but inner rest. You don't need to prove who you are. You don't need to rush the process. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone. What is being built in you is solid precisely because it is being done with care. Every silence, every wait, every discomfort played a role. Nothing was wasted. If at any point you felt invisible, know that invisibility is also protection. If you felt delayed, understand that human delay is often divine alignment. If you felt tired, remember, Even the strong need to pause. You were not made to carry everything alone. Now, the most important thing is this. Take this message into your practical life. Be integrous wherever you are. Take care of your peace. Respect your limits. Keep seeking truth without losing kindness. That's how the chosen live while God's timing unfolds. If something here spoke directly to you, write it in the comments. You don't need to explain much. It can be just one word, a "I understood," a "this spoke to me," or even a number that represents alignment for you. When you comment, you're not just speaking to me. You're connecting with others who are also on this path. Sharing your presence strengthens this silent community of people who don't want noise. They want truth. So comment. Read other comments and realize you are not alone. You are exactly where you need to be. And that is already the beginning.